Alright, good afternoon, Magic fans. It is release day for Magic Origins, and as you can see, I have three booster boxes that I am going to be opening for you. One of which I will be opening now, two of which I will probably be opening a little bit later, but I will have a video, one for each of them. I'm not going to record them all at the same time. Just to show you a little something I got earlier. Llanowar Waste and another Kothoped. Seems like Kothoped is pretty prominent in the new set. Um, if it's at least in terms of distribution. It's not like I was saying earlier in my earlier videos. It's not really that good of a card personally, especially if you're going to use it in standard. But um, limited, it's probably ideal. Um, as you can see, they are unopened. There's a barcode for you. Distribution information, but all three of them have not been opened. I'll just put these other two back, and we'll record those later. Right. Jace is depicted on all three of these. I have not seen any other planeswalk, any of the others at the card shop where I got these from, which is a place called Player Draw here in the Phoenix Valley. I have not seen any other planeswalkers on these booster boxes. But if you, I don't know if you have noticed, but the fat packs each have one of each of the planeswalkers on them. So I guess you got to pick your luck. Start with the first one, Nissa. Alright. And the first one I will go completely through. Each following booster pack I will mainly just go to the rare and possible foil that I get. So, Thornbow Archer, when it attacks, each opponent who doesn't control an elf loses 1 life. 1 drop, 1/2. Not that bad. Volcanic Rambler, 6 drop, 6/4. Pay 3 mana, deals 1 damage to target player. Mighty Leap, 2 drop instant. Target creature gets +2/+2 and gains flying till the end of the turn. Nivix Barrier, 4 drop flash, 0/4 defender. And when it enters the battlefield, target attacking creature gets -4/-0 till the end of the turn. Might of the Masses, 1 drop instant. Target creature gets +1/+1 until end of turn for each creature you control. 5 drop, 3/4 heavy infantry. And when it enters the battlefield, tap target creature and opponent controls. Prickle Boar, 5 drop, 3/3. As long as it's your turn, it has +2/+0 and first strike. Reeve Soul, 2 drop sorcery, destroy creature with power 3 or less. Dreadwaters, 4 drop sorcery, target player puts X cards of his or her library into his or her graveyard, where X cards is the number of lands you control. Rocks Maulers, 5 drop, 4/4, trample, renown 2. Brawler's Plates, 3 drop, artifact equipment. Equipped creature gets +2/+2 and has trample, and the equip cost is 4. Consecrated by Blood, 4 drop enchantment. Enchantment Aura, enchant creature. It has +2/+2 and has flying. Sacrifice 2 other creatures, regenerate this creature. Reclusive Artificer, 4 drop, 2/3 creature. Has haste, and when it enters the battlefield, you may have it deal damage to target creature equal to the number of artifacts you control. And then Hix's Prison Warden, the rare that in earlier videos I was comparing to Containment Priest, but I couldn't think of Banisher Priest with limitations. He has flash and does exactly what Banisher Priest does, except for creatures that dealt damage this turn. Alright, and that is the first pack. Some headed rare there. And we shall continue on through this booster pack box. Thopter Token, Swamp, and Dark Petition. 5 drop sorcery, search your library for a card, put that card into your hand, then shuffle your library. Spell Mastery, if there are 2 or more instants or sorcery cards in your graveyard, add 3 black mana to your mana pool. I was talking about that card in the last video, how it was the promo for the Liliana um, night release deck and pre-release deck. I was trying to think of, and how I liked it and thought it was an extremely good card. Right. So going to the end, we have Harbinger of the Tides, 2-drop, 2/2. You may cast Harbinger of the Tides as though it had flash if you pay 2 colorless more to cast it. When it enters the battlefield, you may return target tapped creature and opponent controls to its owner's hand. So attack declaration, flash that in, bounce a creature to its owner's hand. I'm not gonna, or an opponent's creature to its hand. I'm not gonna complain too much about that. That's a pretty good card. As we all know, blue loves its control, and that is a pretty good control card. Right. Priest of the Bloodright, 5-drop. When it 5-drop 2/2. When it enters the battlefield, put a 5/5 black demon creature token with flying onto the battlefield. At the beginning of your upkeep, you lose 2 life. Not very powerful in constructed or standard, but I could see a lot of mono black commanders going for that one if they really wanted it. So I'll know how black loves to hemorrhage its own life. Alright. Another Thopter token. A Swamp. And Scab Clan Berserker. The red promo, or the promo from my Chandra pre-release box I got. 3-drop 2/2. Haste Renown 1. Whenever an opponent casts a non-creature spell, if Scab Clan Berserker is renowned, Scab Clan Berserker deals 2 damage to that player. Kind of like a mini Rurik Thar, if you remember that from Return to Ravnica. It's a 6-drop 6/6 Vigilance Reach, must attack each turn of Fable, but punches people in the face for 6 instead of 2. So it's pretty different, but always good to have something like that. There. Alright, Elf Warrior token. Might remember this from the Mono Green Commander set. Plains. And Foil Warhorn, not too bad. And another Llanowar Wastes. So, first Pain land in the set, or in this box. Let's go this one. Liliana. Night token. Mountain. It's a really nice one. And then Magering Responder. Another one I talked about in the last videos. 7-drop 7/7. Doesn't untap during your untap step. Pay 7 mana to untap it. And whenever it attacks, it deals 7 damage to target creature defending player controls. So it's a wall shooter right there. Not a whole lot that can stand in that thing's way. So for us blue players that like to run Wall of Frosts, well, we got something that'll just tear that thing down. Alright. Goblin token. It's an interesting looking goblin token. Been told it's a reprint. Forest. And Kytheon's Irregulars. 4-drop, Renown 1. Pay 2 mana to tap target creature, and it's a 4/3. When this first came out, I had people telling me that it was a bad card, but it's 2-drop, and you don't have to tap it to tap down a creature. Where every other white card you see has either 1, 2, or 3 tap this card to tap down a creature. This is really good. You can just continuously abuse that effect as long as you have the white mana to do it. Everybody's favorite, a Catacomb Slug. Alright, another night token. Plains. And Jace's Sanctum. 4-drop enchantment. Instant and sorcery spells you cast cost 1 less. Whenever you cast an instant or sorcery, scry 1. That's not too bad. I could see that as seeing a lot of mono blue commanders that, especially for those that are just getting into the commander scene, I can see a lot of people using that one. Fleshbag Marauder, always good. I play a creature, everybody loses a creature. Alright, going on to Chandra. Right. Ooh, another angel token. Planes. And I should say, I say another because the last one I got was in my previous videos, and it's just a pretty interesting angel. So the rare I got is 3-drop Managorger Hydra. It's a 1/1. It's a and it has trample innately. Whenever a player casts a spell, put a +1/+1 counter on Managorger Hydra. That is going to be really good. I have a Temur Hydra deck, and I plan on putting that one in there because I Gen Wave, that'll be one of the only Hydras that survives. So that can see a lot of play in a lot of different areas. It just all depends on how people are going to use it. Nothing important. Island, Return to Ravnica art. And then Exquisite Firecraft, 3-drop sorcery, deals 4 damage to target creature or player. If there are 2 or more instant and or sorcery cards in your graveyard, it can't be countered by spells or abilities. I can't see too much wrong with that one. Mono red, you're always going to have a bunch of instants and sorceries in your graveyard because you're going to be casting them all the time. So I can see that one getting a lot of use. 2 Infectious Bloodlust. Alright, another useless card. Another Swamp. Repeat art. Oh, it's beautiful art though. Alright, Foil is a Night Snare. 4-drop sorcery. Target opponent reveals his or her hand. You may choose a non-land card from it. If you do, that player discards that card. If you don't, that player discards 2 cards. So, as it chooses, you can either choose one to get rid of, or just, if you don't really care what they have in their hand, they can just discard 2 cards. And you get to know what's in it. Next Painland is a Yavimaya Coast. Taps for green and a blue, but it deals, or green or a blue, and it deals 1 damage to you. Okay. Back to Chandra. So far, no mythics. Right. Another useless card. Mountain. And Dwyn Giltleaf Dane. It's a 4-drop, 3/4 with reach. It's a lord, meaning it gives other elves +1, other creatures +1/+1. In this case, it's an elf creature. And whenever Dwyn attacks, you gain 1 life for each attacking elf you control. As if elves need more life gain, right? It's also a legendary creature, so you can use it as a commander if you so chose. But with Nissa out there, I'm sure there is another elf that you would rather use as your commander if you can get her, and not have to spend $20 for her. Right. Ooh, Chandra Emblem. Very nice. Keep that. Forest. And Despoiler of Souls. 2-drop. 2 black drop. 3/1. Despoiler of Souls can't block. Pay 2. Exile 2 other creature cards from your graveyard. Return Despoiler of Souls from your graveyard to the battlefield. Not too bad. It's going to be interesting. Could be used in a Delph deck. Accidentally mill it. Oh, hey, let's get that creature. Let's get that one back to the battlefield. Goblin token. Ooh. Let's see. Is it? Oh, there we go. Okay, so generally, if you from my experience, if you see one of these as you're pulling from the back of the booster pack, generally you have a planeswalker. In this case, I have Chandra, Fire of Keldesh, 3-drop, 2 red and 1 colorless for a 2/2. Whenever you cast a red spell, untap Chandra, Fire of Kaladesh. Tap Chandra, Fire of Kaladesh. She deals 1 damage to target player. If Chandra has dealt 3 or more damage this turn, exile her, then return her to the battlefield transformed under her owner's control. Right? So when she transforms, she becomes Chandra the Roaring Flame. Chandra, she enters the battlefield with 4 loyalty counters, has a +1, a -2, and a -7. Her +1, Chandra Roaring Flame deals 2 damage to target player. Chandra Roaring Flame deals 2 damage to target creature for her -2. And her -7, Chandra Roaring Flame deals 6 damage to each opponent. Each player dealt damage this way gets an emblem with, at the beginning of your upkeep, this emblem deals 3 damage to you. So just to show you real quick. It focuses. There we go. Chandra. Go ahead and set that right there, right next to her emblem. And personally, I think that is a really good card. Turn 3 play for any modern deck that's running mono red. Attack, declare attack. She deals, say they block with a 1/1 token. That's 2 damage. Cast a red instant. That's to untap her. Tap her again. That's another 1 damage. Flip her. 2 damage with her +2. Yeah, no, her +1. Then cast more instants and sorceries. I personally like her. I mean, she is a little expensive. 3 mana for a 2/2. It's a little expensive, but can be useful. Alright, next emblem is Liliana. So, Liliana's emblem says, whenever a creature dies, return it to the battlefield under your control at the beginning of the next end step. Plains. Foil, Nivix Barrier, 4-drop, 0/4, Flash Defender. I think I went over this one with my first booster pack that I opened. Then, Herald of the Pantheon, 2-drop, 2/2. Enchantment spells you cast cost 1 colorless less to cast. Whenever you cast an enchantment spell, you gain 1 life. So that includes gods like Purphoros, Kruphix, Erois, whomever you may be running. That is a really good card. As soon as I saw some of the enchantment love cards that came out for this set, I immediately wanted to build a 5-color god commander. Of course, that's what Magic wants, so that's what they're doing. So they're just getting you to do whatever they want you to do, pretty much. I can almost guarantee you that's what they want to do, want it to happen. Oh, Thopter token. Right. Next, I have another island from Return to Ravnica. And then Sigil of the Empty Throne, 5-drop enchantment. Whenever you cast an enchantment spell, put a 4/4 white angel creature token with flying onto the battlefield. So I got the angel token earlier, so that works out quite well. And Blightcaster. Alright, Nisa, show me what you got. Another useless card. Mountain. And then Shivan Reef. It's blue-red Pain Land. So kind of happy about that. I now have 1 of each of the Pain Lands. This one actually has some backstory on Jace, so just a little bit. If you find one of those and you haven't read the story yet. Swamp. Anointer of Champions, 1-drop, 1/1. Tap it. Target attacking creature gets +1/+1 until the end of the turn. It's foil. It's an uncommon, and it's attacking creature, so it doesn't necessarily have to be yours. So if you're going in a, say you're going on a 2/2 and you're the support, you can boost your buddy's attacking creature if you really wanted to. Next is my rare, which is Soulblade Jin, 5-drop, 4/3, flying. Whenever you cast a non-creature spell, creatures you control get +1/+1 till the end of the turn. Essentially pseudo prowess. It's a pseudo prowess for all creatures you control. Go figure. Okay. Next, soldier token. Mountain. Second mythic so far. Pyromancer's Goggles, 5-drop. Tap, add red to your mana pool. When that mana is spent to cast a red instant or sorcery, copy that spell, and you may choose new targets for the copy. I like the flavor text. I hope to meet Jaya Ballard someday. I think we'd get along. Chandra Nalar. Apparently, those are Jaya Ballard's goggles that Chandra acquired somehow. I like that card. I think it's really good. I may sideboard in the mono red modern deck I'm building. I mean, probably won't use it all that often, but never hurts. Thopter token. Mountain again. Next. Languish. Great card. 4-drop sorcery, 2 black, 2 colorless. All creatures get -4/-4 till the end of the turn. Great card. Gets rid of all tokens on the battlefield. It even gets rid of Nisa's legendary legendary token, now that I think about it, because the token produced by Nisa is a 4/4, but it is legendary, so you can only have one on the field at a time. Renown, info card, Plains, and Orbs of Warding, 5-drop artifact. You have hexproof. If a creature would deal damage to you, prevent 1 of that damage. It's not too bad of a card. It's useful and limited, but not really much in standard or modern. You can probably do that in a pillow forting deck if you're just starting it out. Gideon info card. Well, we know what that means, ladies and gents. Oh, I was wrong. Okay. So, apparently this is I was wrong. So this does not instantly mean you have a planeswalker. It's just another insert card. The rare I got is a 3-drop sorcery called Infinite Obliteration. Name a creature card, search target opponent's graveyard, hand, and library for any number of cards with that name and exile them. Then that player shuffles his or her library. So you go like this. I am looking for Chandra Fire of Kaladesh. All instances of them are gone from the game. Really good card. So I'll just set this right here, even though I really don't need it. Alright. Useless info card, Plains. Ooh. Embermaw Hellion, 5-drop, 4/5 with trample. If another red source you control would deal damage to a permanent or player, it deals that much damage +1 to that permanent or player instead. So a maybe board for anybody getting into modern. Play that, hit somebody for 4 with a lightning bolt instead of 3. Rogue's Passage, pretty good card. For 4 mana, make any one creature unblockable until the end of the turn. Not too bad. Alright, so far, 2 mythics, 1 planeswalker, 1 set of goggles. Alright, another useless info card. Swamp. And Nisa's Revelation. It's a 7-drop. Sorcery. Scry 5, then reveal the top card of your library. If it's a creature card, you draw cards equal to its power, and you gain life equal to its toughness. So you get so this is where a really good commander card. Run that, look at the top 5, put them back in any order. Reveal the top one. You say you have Hydra Omnivore. You draw 8 cards, then you gain 8 life. Nothing wrong with that. It's a pretty good card. Could be used in a mono green deck. Just drop that down there in the trash. All right, elemental token, 2/2 for the Royal of Zendikar enchantment. Mountain. Ooh. First foil land, foil plains. Set that one right there. And then I have Molten Vortex, 1-drop enchantment. Pay 1, discard a land card. Molten Vortex deals 2 damage to target creature or player. And that is 1 red, by the way. I'm gonna have to move those a little closer so you guys can see those a little better. I apologize. Alright. Another useless card. Info card, that is. Nice island. Want to know where that one's from. Next. Tainted Remedy. 3-drop enchantment. If an opponent would gain life, that player loses that much life instead. So it goes really good against the Alhamerit's Archive, the 5-drop enchantment that doubles life gain and doubles card draw, unless it's the first card drawn of the turn, I believe. Nothing too wrong with that one. You can really go. I think that's one way to go infinite, to kill somebody with life lost. Goblin token. Another insert card for Planeswalkers. Alright. Oh, and here we have Kythian, Hero of Akros. The second Planeswalker I have pulled a second time. 1-drop or 1 white, 2/1 legendary creature. At the end of combat, if Kythian, Hero of Akros, had at least two other creatures attack this turn, exile Kythian, then return him to the battlefield, transformed under his owner's control. For 1 white and 2 colorless, Kythian gains indestructible until end of turn. So when he flips, he becomes Gideon Battleforged, the Planeswalker Gideon type. Up to 1 target creature an opponent controls attacks Gideon Battleforged during its controller's next untap step. If next turn, if able. Until your next turn, target creature gains indestructible. Untap that creature. And until the end of turn, Gideon Battleforged becomes a 4/4 human soldier creature with indestructible that's still a Planeswalker. Prevent all damage that would be dealt to him this turn. +2, +1, and 0. Seen a lot on Gideon. He doesn't really do too many different things. All seem standard, close to the standard way that Gideon has been, what's the word I'm looking for, has been portrayed before. Enters the battlefield with 3 loyalty, no minus abilities, and nothing wrong with that one. I'm gonna say amen, thank you, amen, and thank you. Another Elf Warrior token. Forest. Ooh, here we have Gaia's Revenge. It's a 7-drop 8/5. It cannot be countered, it has haste, and it can't be the target of non-green spells or abilities from non-green sources. Personally, a really good card. Not really going to see a lot of standard play, but is great in Commander, which is the main format I play. So I am happy with that one. Another useless info card. Forest. Ooh, foil. We have a 4-drop. It is Firemind Elemental, haste, renown 1, and it is a 3/2. Not too bad, I guess. And the rare is Priest of Bloodright. I went over him earlier. Alright, down to the last 6. Let's see mythics. It's a little sad name, actually. Useless card. Nice Island. Alright. 5-drop Rocks Maulers. Went over this one earlier. It's a 4/4. Right, next I have Willbreaker. 5-drop, 2/3. Whenever a creature an opponent controls becomes the target of a spell or ability you control, gain control of that creature for as long as you control Willbreaker. I discussed that one in my last video. It is a multi-use version of any mind control enchantment, except you have, well, like I said, it's a multi-use. So any ability you control, gain control of another creature. Useless card. Swamp. Ooh, Erebos' Titan. 4th mythic of the set. 5/5, 4-drop. As long as your opponents control no creatures, Erebos' Titan has indestructible. And whenever a creature card leaves an opponent's graveyard, you may discard a card. If you do, return Erebos' Titan from your graveyard to your hand. Now, it's an interesting form of recursion. It's nothing I'm really that excited about. It's great for devotion, so you have him, you have Erebos, and one other thing on the field, and Erebos is already a creature. But he doesn't come to the graveyard or come back to the battlefield from the graveyard, which is something I am extremely disappointed in. Outside of that, indestructible variant, very variant, but not too bad of a card, honestly. Getting back as long as your opponent have delve or anything or any sort of recursion for instants or sorceries or creatures. So like Grave Purge, for instance. Useless card. Forest. Ooh. Foil Mage Ring Responder. So I haven't gotten the rare yet. Ooh, Demonic Pact. 5th Mythic. 4-drop enchantment. At the beginning of your upkeep, choose one that hasn't been chosen. Demonic Pact deals 4 damage to target creature or player, and you gain 4 life. Target opponent discards 2 cards, draw 2 cards, and you lose the game. So this puts you, at the turn you play this, you have a 4-turn clock, unless you have some way of destroying this on the upkeep of your 4th turn. Or you can get or gift it to somebody else. So you play it, wait 3 turns, then you get rid of it if you know for a fact you can't win the game. Because if not, well, you just screwed yourself over royally. Right? Yeah. Another island. And Knight of the White Orchid, 2-drop 2/2 creature with 1st strike. When it enters the battlefield, if an opponent controls more lands than you may search your library for a plains card, put it onto the battlefield, then shuffle your library. Now, that's really good because it does not mean only basic plains. You can search for any of the shock lands or the dual lands from Alpha, Beta, or rather from Unlimited, which, as you know, come in untapped without having to do anything. So that's what makes them all the better. Forest card. And Gilt-Leaf Winnower. 5-drop 4/3 with Menace, which is an old term, but has a new name, or rather has now been named. What Menace is, it makes your creatures makes it so that your creatures can't be blocked unless they're blocked by 2 or more. So I'll just think of a menacing dog. It doesn't get attacked unless it's by more. It really doesn't get attacked or blocked unless you attack it with multiple instances of means. So you and your buddy go after a rabid dog to put it down because you can't handle it yourself. So for instance. Oh, and I forgot to mention, it also has one other ability. When it enters the battlefield, you may destroy target non-elf creature whose power and toughnesses aren't equal. Well, that's a really good card. Say somebody has Dragonlord Silumgar out, play that, destroy Dragonlord Silumgar, you get either your Planeswalker or your creature back. Zombie token, Mountain, and Tragic Arrogance. 5-drop sorcery, poor Kythian, destroyed his own friends. For each player, you choose from among the permanents that player controls an artifact, a creature, an enchantment, and a planeswalker. Then each player sacrifices all other non-land permanents he or she controls. So that is a great board wipe on a stick. You have 1, 2, 3, 4. You choose 4 permanents from your opponents, and they sack the rest. It's a great means of letting them choose what stays, what goes. All right, that is the end for this first video. I will draw a blank, and then I will record another one that shows the next 2 boxes.